How many times have you walked away from an exercise and thought to yourself, I really got that? Is it 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000? Or are you that guy who gets off of an exercise that was meant for your back and says, I only feel that in my forearms or my wrists? Well, I've got good news for you. Today, we are going to go over how to maximize muscle contraction using mind-body connection. Now, the first application where I see people having the biggest problem contracting their muscles is the pull-up. You're probably pulling with your arms instead of pulling with your back. Now, the same goes for the lat pull down. So if you can't do a pull-up and it's something that you can't physically do, you can apply the same principles to the lat pull down. They both work the same muscle groups, just slightly differently. The first thing that I see most people do is they try to pull themselves up over the bar rather than trying to pull the bar down to them. So if you look at a lat pull down, you're pulling the bar down to you. I want you to think about the concept the same exact way. Instead of trying to pull yourself up over the bar, try to pull the bar down to you. And when you try to pull the bar down to you, most likely you're going to get a better contraction and a better pull-up. The second thing I want you to think about when you're doing a pull-up, don't pull with your arms. You want to pull with the biggest muscle group in the exercise, which of course are your lats. So when I start this motion from full extension, I want to start with my back, my lats. I don't want to pull hard here with my arms. I want to take my lats and squeeze them tight against my body and then pull up, stretch the bar out left and right, and then slowly lower, keeping concentration on my lats. I also want to think about my grip. If I'm gripping too tight when I pull up, I'm going to have trouble with my forearms. My arms are going to start to shake and I'm going to use my arms more. So I want to kind of relax my grip just enough so that I have a solid grip on it and I can pull up. So I'm using my back to pull all the way up, stretching the bar out left and right, just like if it were a phone book and I wanted to tear it in half. So nice and easy, stretch the bar out and then gently relax and hang all of your weight on your lats when you come down. So that is mind-muscle connection. There wasn't 1 second during that pull-up that I wasn't thinking about the muscles that I wanted to work. Now, if you were feeling your forearms during a pull-up, you should be feeling your forearms during a pull-up. They are a secondary mover in the exercise. So if your forearms are not strong enough to handle the tension, you're going to feel it first in your forearms. So don't get upset about that. They're probably just not conditioned enough to hold your body weight up. So you may need to make some adjustments. If you really can't hold on to the bar, get yourself a pair of lifting straps. You can get them on Amazon anywhere for probably $7 or $8. All right, now let's move on to that second practical application, the second exercise. What one was that? Oh yeah, the bench press. The bench press is another exercise that for some people is very, very difficult to make mind-muscle connection. A lot of people will come off a bench press, and it doesn't matter if it's dumbbells or barbells, but a lot of people will come off that chest press feeling it in the triceps. They may feel it in the wrists. They may feel it in the shoulders. And I want to show you a very, very simple way to actually get more mind-muscle connection. And that's without using any weight to start. So all I have to do, and I'm on an incline bench, lean back, contract my chest muscles. So I don't have any weight. I'm actually just contracting my chest muscles against my own body. And when I come down for the chest press, I squeeze my shoulders back. And as I squeeze my shoulders back, I feel the big stretch across the chest. And then as I come up, I want to make sure that I'm squeezing from here rather than, of course, from anywhere else, shoulders or triceps or wrists or forearms. Now, that's not to say that these muscles aren't involved in this exercise. They're secondary and tertiary movers of the exercise, but the prime mover is the chest. So I want to make sure that I get the most out of this exercise by squeezing the chest. And if I come a little bit across the midline of my body, I can get even more of a contraction. And that's not to say that you have to do that, but big, big stretch on the way down, pushing the chest towards the ceiling. And then instead of trying to push the weights away from me, I want to push my body into the bench. So I'm pushing myself into the bench, and as I push myself into the bench, my chest contracts harder. Another tip, take your elbows and drive your elbows straight up through your wrists as you're pressing yourself into the bench. So you'll get a great contraction in the chest. You'll make sure that you isolate the muscle group that you want to isolate. And again, you've got to stay focused. You have to keep that mind-muscle connection for the entire exercise. Any lapse in focus may mean that you just may feel it somewhere else other than where you should have felt it. If you come away from this exercise feeling the chest, feeling the contraction, then you know that you've done your job. And the third and final application, probably my most favorite exercise of all time, the biceps curl. And a lot of people feel the biceps curl everywhere else except for the biceps, mainly in the forearms or the shoulders. So if you're that person, I'm going to show you how to maximize your contraction during the biceps curl. And it starts with positioning. Wrists in a nice neutral position, not hyperextended or flexed, nice neutral. Screwing the arms, the triceps into the lats, nice and tight. Holding a nice bridge against the body, and then thinking about the contraction all the way up while not contracting too hard with the grip. If you grip too tight, you're going to feel it more in your forearms. If you come all the way to the top and lose the contraction, the shoulder takes over against gravity and you'll feel pain or effort in the shoulder and the forearms everywhere where you really don't want to feel it. So in order to get this right, let me show you what it looks like with dumbbells. We take the dumbbell, we screw our arms into our body. So I've got triceps screwed in against lats, neutral position with my wrists. And I'm going to go one at a time so you can see slowly. I'm watching and thinking about my biceps. I'm pressing against my body while holding a nice natural line. I'm at the point of peak contraction up here. If I go any further, I just lost contraction. And I move my arm. So keep your arm in the same exact position. It's locked in place, very slow and steady, thinking about the contraction the entire time so that you don't lose focus. Of course, if you lose focus, you're going to lose contraction. And my wrist, again, nice neutral. I can really relax my wrist position in order to get the best contraction at my biceps. Keep the elbows slightly forward of the body. I know a lot of people like them back. A lot of people like them right at the side. I like them slightly forward, but locked in for max tension and contraction. Okay, so we got 3 practical applications to enhance mind-body connection. These principles can be applied to every single exercise that you do. So I want you to think about that. Whenever you come into the gym, whatever exercise it is, think about the mind-body connection and maximizing the contraction for the exercise that you're doing. I also want you to keep in mind not to use too heavy a weight. There's no harm in using a slightly lower weight and getting a real strong contraction, at least getting the movement pattern down. And once you get that movement pattern down, you can then increase the weight. If you increase the weight too quickly or by too much, you may lose the contraction where you want it, other muscle groups take over, and there's less result. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did today, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all the next time.